So say you have your PeopleSoft application and you have created a student in PeopleSoft, right? Now
Yeah.
there is some other third-party application, or any other application in your university which is for say entertainment purpose. Now this website needs the list of all the students, and say if someone leaves or if someone joins, that list should be updated. Now
Okay.
this application, entertainment application, has to depend on someone to provide the data, right? Let's assume that. So,
Yeah.
and PeopleSoft is the centralized system. Like it is going to have, as soon as student joins, he's going to be onboarded on this application, right? That's the first thing that would be done. So this can be considered as source of truth. Like whatever data, student data is there in PeopleSoft, it is true, 100% true. We can consider that, right? Now, entertainment application says, okay, ask PeopleSoft to send me the student. How does it ask? So it can ask over different protocols. Application says that I'm going to request PeopleSoft to send me the student list, and I'll be doing that over HTTP, over the, and PeopleSoft is going to provide that service to me. And what is that service? Send the students list. This is the service that it provides, right? And this service is provided over web, over HTTP. Yeah. So the sequence here is entertainment application will send the HTTP request, right, to PeopleSoft,
Okay.
right? And then PeopleSoft is going to respond back over HTTP again, back to entertainment with the list of students, and how this information should be exchanged, what is the correct syntax, all that has to be decided beforehand.
Does that
And
mean it is an integration with the
do this
entertainment?
information exchange. Exactly. So entertainment is integrating with PeopleSoft, and
Oh, I'm losing your
so the
voice,
web service.
Mohan.
Now, just give me a second. I'll disconnect other devices here. Just give me a second.
No.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, Mohan.
Are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay. So, okay. So the information format has to be fixed beforehand, and there are standard formats in which information can be exchanged, like XML and JSON. So these are the data interchange formats, right? So XML, you already know, you have tags, and then you have closing tag. Inside that, you'll have information.
Yeah.
Student ID equal to 1001, right? And say Mira. Student ID equal to 1003. Yeah, something like this.
Yeah.
It will have all the students list in this. This will be provided by PeopleSoft. So to invoke this
Yeah.
web service, entertainment has to invoke the URL of PeopleSoft. So it would be
Yes.
http:// PeopleSoft's URL, right? Then your, say, some kind of listening connector, the IV URL basically, and then the web service names, say students underscore list dot v1, something like this. So entertainment application is going to hit this URL, and by hitting this URL, PeopleSoft will receive this request and respond with this information, right? That's what
Yeah.
basically a web service is. And there is a requester, there is a service provider. Whoever provides the service, that application's URL is used. So PeopleSoft is providing the service, so PeopleSoft will give the URL to third-party application, right? And if PeopleSoft is consuming, uh, if PeopleSoft is consuming the service, say entertainment application has the record of how many movies each student watched, right? So
Yeah.
entertainment site can say, okay, use this URL and say use this URL, and you will get the watch details of all the students. This is provided by entertainment site to people. So this, when PeopleSoft provides a web service, is it is called, there is a navigation
Correct.
for providing web service, right? When you are the consumer, it is called consume a web service.
Oh.
You got it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now these are two pages in PeopleSoft. I'll show you. Now what happens is, say if you are providing a web service, so when you hit this URL, there should be something in backend which runs, right? So
Yes.
this is
Yes.
PeopleSoft applications URL. So there should be something that runs. It could be a component interface, right? It could be a component interface. It could be an app package, right? So there should be some code which runs in the background.
What do you
Sorry,
mean
will
by
you
app
hear a lot
package,
of background noise?
Mohan? No, no, I'm okay, but your little break is happening.
Oh,
That's fine. Background, I'm not getting anything. I'm okay for that. Uh, so, Mohan,
okay. So
what is app
I was
package
referring
means?
to the application package.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. But in what sense? Like those are PIA, from PIA, you mean to say?
No, no,
I
no.
didn't get
App
it.
designer. You can see this app designer. This is
Oh, app
like
designer.
normal
Ah.
people code.
Yeah.
Yeah. So app package is an object which can be created in the app designer. So if you open your app designer, you will see app package,
Mm-hmm.
application package in the list of
Oh,
objects.
correct, 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 correct. You're
Right.
right.
So
Sorry.
it is
Yeah,
a
that's
people
right.
code.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
So that so there should be something which is executing, which is going to return this data back to the requester, right? So that something is these items,
Hmm.
right? It is primarily CI or an app package, and the code which runs behind an API or a web service
Mm-hmm.
is called handler.
Okay.
Handler, right? We will see this in front end as well. So you have to configure for every web service. There is a handler which gets invoked when this is called.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, yeah. So in our cases, course bidding system, so we send the course data to the bidding system, that is the integration done, and then bidding will happen in that software, and then output again will, like I will say, the students' enrollment will happen again in PSFT automatic.
Right. Correct. So that's happening through the web services.
Okay. Okay.
So let me show you. Let's go to integration broker. And by the way, these web services, the term for web service in PeopleSoft is service operation. Okay. So when you say service
Okay.
operation, that refers to the web service. And now there could be multiple links, multiple service operations which are related to the same kind of tasks. So say you have one service operation to get the students list, like right, and same entertainment
Mm-hmm.
system has one more. It is consuming one more service operation, which is for providing attendance data, right?
Yes.
And say there is something else which provides the grades. So say there are three service operations that are used
Mm-hmm.
by the entertainment system. So these can be grouped in something called service. So one service can have multiple service operations, right? So if you have related service operations, you can group them under a service. So say this service is called entertainment service, right? So entertainment service is going to have all the service operations related to the entertainment system.
Okay. Yeah.
Got it?
Yes.
I'll show you now.
Yeah.
Go to integration setup, and then you have
Mm-hmm.
service operation definition, right? Let's go there, and here you can search using service, or you can directly go with service operation. Let's search using service. Let me give percentage, right? So these are all the services. Say, let me select bank sync. I'm just selecting randomly, and I have clicked on search. So there is only one service operation, bank sync. Let me show you another one which might have more, right? So say address type full sync. No, this also has one. Uh, so one service can have multiple service operations. I want to find something which has multiple service operations. Say admin status. Yeah. So if you see this service, whatever this is, I don't know what this is,
Mm-hmm.
right? Application program or something that has two service operations. One is underscore F and one is underscore G. So these are related service operations and they can be mapped under one service. Now, when I click on the service operation, I can see all the configuration of this service operation. And this is basically the web service, right?
Okay.
So this service operation is of type synchronous. So there
Mm-hmm.
are two types of service operations, synchronous and asynchronous. So when it is asynchronous, you do not wait for the response. So you just send the data, you are not expecting any response. If it is synchronous, you are expecting a response from the target system, right? So you are going to wait for the response when it is synchronous. Operation type, then this is
Mm-hmm.
the description. If you see, there is a link called service operation security. So it's not that everybody can access or invoke this web service. So you can set the security using this link. So you can set the permission list who can have access to this particular web service. Currently it is blank, but you can give a proper service, sorry, permission list and give it full access or no access, right? That is service operation security. It can, yeah. Then there is validation. If you want to validate the incoming request, your password or SSN certificate or something else, you can here. So if you choose none, there is no credential which is passed in the request. Now, this is the version number, right? It is V2 and version description, and there is something called routing. So routing will tell you from where to where the data is getting, like from where the request is coming, right? So this is any to local. So any to local as in any third party, like anything outside PeopleSoft can call this. That request will come to local. Local is PeopleSoft,
Okay.
right? And local to local is PeopleSoft to PeopleSoft. Any to local is any third party to PeopleSoft. Then you have message information. So we talked about this XML message, right? That is transferred. So this information has to be recorded beforehand, has to be configured beforehand. So the request is going to be like this and response is going to be like this. And if there is any error, it is going to be like this. Let's view this message. So request message is going to be like this. These are the elements: employee ID, career, student number, admission application number, all these, right? So these details are going to come in the request. And then what would be the response? This is going to be the response. So it is going to respond with all these things. So
So
these are
when we are
the,
configuring this, whatever the code, that is whatever the XML, what we are viewing it, where do we configure
yeah,
in the app designer?
no, in messages. So you create, there are multiple types of messages, rosette based and non-rosette based. So this is more of a development thing. I mean, there are certain steps you have to follow. You have to create the document, you have to create message, you have to create service, then service operation. There is a sequence in which you have to create all the things. That's when
Okay.
you are done with one service operation. I can give you the overview, like what all things are there. But if you want to see how this is configured, maybe you would want to refer people books or just go through it with some developer.
Yeah, got it.
But this has to be fixed, decided beforehand. And yeah, this is the end of it. And to make use of this, the service operation should be active. This checkbox you see, that is not checked. That means
Yeah.
nobody will be able to use this service operation. It is an inactive
Okay.
state, right? So you have to make it active. You have to set the service operation security. That's when it will start working. Then we talked about handler. So if someone calls this service operation, what actually happens? What actually executes? That is available in the handlers thing, handlers tab. So it is saying it's a component interface, right? The name of the handler is this. And if I click on details, component interface name is ADM APPL program. So you will be able to find this definition in application designer, right? And action is find. So it is just to look up for the information, like find an existing value. Got it, right? So someone is
Right.
going to query something, and in response, you are going to give him the results if that value exists. That's handlers. And routings, we already talked about. It is an inbound routing. Inbound as in anybody from outside can request, and your PeopleSoft system is going to receive it. So if you see, sender node is any, and receiver node is PSFT_CS, which is our application,
Mm.
right? And these routings are also inactive. So there are certain things that you need to do to make the service operation work. You have to make it active. You have to set the security. You have to activate the routings as well. These three things should be in place for the service operation to work.
Okay.
Yeah. And let me show you another type of web service. So this is CI based, right? As you
Component
see,
interface.
this is component interface based, right? And like this is how it looks, CI based. There is one more category called REST based, REST, REST. In that you transfer the data across in JSON format. So the request comes in JSON, the response is also in JSON, like most of the times, right? And RESTful APIs, uh, so REST APIs, or you call them RESTful APIs, right? That's the
Okay.
term. And what it means is, earlier these web services were used only for getting the resources. Like you would request for some site and then say you want to play a video, right? Video one. So this is a static resource that you can get. But then someone said that why don't you leverage this HTTP protocol and upload the video instead of just downloading, upload it like put method, right? Make use of post method, right? Why just use get,
Yes.
right?
Post.
You can use delete method to delete a resource. So when these operations are done through HTTP, and there are set of rules. If your service follows that, it becomes a REST API. So let me show
Okay.
you one example of REST API. So not here. Okay. Let me do one thing. Let me add a new value.
Okay.
There was, like, there is an option. Yeah, here it is. So services, you have to, uh, you know, like you can search the RESTful services from here, and it will have all the REST service operations. Let me just click this and click on search. So all these are REST APIs, REST services. Now inside these services, I can get the service operations. Let me open one of the service.
So component CI, it's different, and for REST API, it's different navigation.
Correct. For REST API, it is usually application package. So I'm going to show that to you now. So I told you that service is a group of service operations, right? So this particular service contains two service operations. One is get and one is post.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to the get one. And if you see, there is something called base URL, right? So base URL, and there are URI templates as well. So say at the end of this URL, if you pass page ID/layout, then
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be invoked. If you provide page ID, layout ID, process ID, thread ID, everything given in this template, then this will be invoked.
Okay. Okay.
Right? So you can access this service operation in two ways, in two
Mm-hmm.
templates, right? And the handler in this service operation is remote application type. It is not even this, what do you say, application
Yes.
package. Let me
Application.
return to service. I'll go to return to search, rest, HMAP, this one. Let's go to this. This is the service operation, and then let's go to handlers. Yeah, here it is. It is application class. So inside an app package, you can have multiple classes. So if I click on details, it would show me this is the package name, this is the path, this is the class ID, and this is the method. So if you open any application package, you'll find multiple classes, right? So there would be post handler in this application package. So that code is going to be invoked when you invoke the service operation. Does it make sense?
Yes, yes, yes.
And you can validate and build these URLs. So let me just go to service. These are all PeopleSoft specific services. If I like, we can create our own service, right? And
Add a new value, maybe we can do it.
yeah, this is something we can edit. Yeah. So pt lookup prompt underscore rest underscore get. So it has so many URI templates. You can invoke the service operation in multiple ways. So, and this is like if you're visiting a website, for example, some tutorial, and in the URL, if you see, it is usually HTTP tutorial.com slash say rest slash page slash one, right? And then when you click on next, like when you are done reading one page, and when you click on the next page, your URL changes to 2, then your URL changes to 3, then your URL changes to 4. Have you observed that? Like whenever you are accessing a site, right, only some part of the URL changes, content also changes. This is similar to this URI template. You have different types of templates in which you can invoke this service operation. Now let's click on validate. Okay, if I click on validate, sorry, I had to click on build actually. Its definition, lookup, lookup rest. Right, let's go inside this. Go in the first one. Click on build. So you can build, like you can test your URL, right, by providing all these values, right? So lookup. This is the template. Primitive lookup. Okay. If I change this value, say rec1, and this should be field 1, field value equal to hello, then click on validate, generate URL. Okay, sorry, I think we'll have to give the values for all of these. So if we give
Oh,
value
okay.
for all of these and click on
Then it
generate
will create, it will give the URL.
full URL. So that's how it is used.
Hmm.
And we click on build again. And let me click on validate. Right. Then in this, I talked about this document, right? You have to create a document and then message. So all there is a sequence of steps that you need to follow. So if you go to this, it will take you to the document builder page and it will show you what all things are there. If I click here, it will give me more details, what this string is, what is the maximum length, all of that. Yeah. So this has to be created first. Document has to be created first. Then you can create a service operation. And what it will do with these values, it will be passed to this application class, which is your handler. And this is going to take care of your request. Like depending on the input, it will form its output and send it back. So this is the setup part, service operation setup part. This REST base, you can directly give this URL to the user. Whatever is there in this path, you can give this URL. Uh, you can let me do one thing. I'll just copy it and put it here at the end of this. Let me remove this part. Enter. Okay, this is no URI resource passed in for this. So I have to
Because
follow
then
this.
it has that 1, 2, 3, 4. Those also we have to pass. No? This is the
Yeah,
base
yeah.
URL.
Yes, correct. We have to use this template actually. So if I pass this along with this, xlat lookup field name. So let me type run status. So in caps lock, I have to type run status and then field value should be 5 is equal to lookup field value. Lookup field value is 5, I guess. And second, what is this? Lookup field name, then field val equal to, okay, this is to field val. You have to first understand what these
Yeah, values. Huh?
uh, run status and field val equal to, okay, sorry. So this is constant by mistake. This is not expecting any value. So only the brackets one we have to replace. This is going to be like this. Run status field val equal to 5. So it tells me that if run status is 5, it means queued. That's the response. If I make it 9, for example, it should return success and success.
Okay.
Got it. So first of all, this is for translate values lookup. XLAT stands for translate. So we are
Okay.
looking up the translate values and we have to pass what field we want to look for. So I want to look for a run status field where this field val, this is constant, we don't have to modify this, equal to whatever I want to find. I wanted to find 9. So field val equal to 9. So it is going to return me, this is the response. So response val is 9 and description is success. Got it, right? So this is the request
Yeah.
sent by us. This is the response that we got. And this response will depend on like what this handler is doing. Handler is going to query the translate table and then give me the response. It will build the response according to what is set here. So if I click on view message, So it has response comp, response well, response description. Same things I'll find here. Response comp, response well, response description.
Yes, yes.
Got it?
Mm.
So this is how it works. You can also create your own service operation. You can write your own handler and you can enable the routing. So if you see here, the routings are also active. Your service operation is also active, right? And let's have a look at the security.
But
It
Mohan,
is
here, where is the third party is involved in this? Like we are querying from the people so services, so requesting from PeopleSoft to whom, and we are getting response to again back to PeopleSoft.
so, for example, I provide this URL to the third party guy.
So here we are
Okay,
just testing here as
correct.
BSFT itself is a third party, acting as a third party, and
No, PSFT is the service provider, and we have
correct.
shared this URL with the third party. Now he can
Huh?
invoke this URL from anywhere. We are invoking it on our browser, but this can be invoked
Browser.
in their
Okay, okay,
application, their
okay.
own code, wherever they want. We are using browser
Oh,
just for testing, but they might
yes.
be using it
Okay,
in
got it.
their application code directly.
Hmm. Directly, yes, yes, yes. Oh, got it,
Yeah.
got it, got
So
it.
REST operations can be used like this. But if you want to provide CI based services, there is one navigation. I'll show that to you. You go to People Tools and you go to Integration Broker, and then you go to, I don't remember the, yeah, this one, services, and setup. No, not this one. There's something called Provide Web Service. Web Services, okay. Web Services, and then provide CI based services. So if you go here, it will ask you to select the component interface name. Let me select this. Click on search. We can select this uh, thing and click on review CI status, right? And we want to create a service operation for this CI. So we are going to create it for both get and find. So there will be two service operations that will be created under one service. So the service name would be this, and there would be two service operations. This one underscore G and underscore F.
Okay.
You understood, right?
Yes, sir.
Now click on display selected actions. You have, and you can give a user friendly alias as well. So this would be your service operation. But if third party does not want to use this kind of complicated string, you can give it an alias, right?
Okay.
And then you can click on perform selected actions. I'm not going to perform this because this already exists. So if you see service exists, so I don't want to do that. Or let me do it. I just this is just a demo environment, right? Operation version created v3 because like with v2 there might be already some services running, sorry, existing. Yeah, so that's all. So that's how you would provide CI based web services, like you'll create the service operations out of the CIs. Now next is you can consume web services. Like if some third party has given you a URL to consume, you can go and provide that URL here. So select the type of URL or select the type of source, say WSDL URL, web service. This stands for Web Service Definition Language. So WSDL URL, you click on next, and like you go through all the steps, it will give you a, it will create a service operation for you. consuming this web service.
So suppose we want to play some video on some of the pages. Does that mean we are consuming the service?
It depends how you are doing it. If you are directly embedding, for
Mm-hmm.
video, you would directly embed it. Uh, like you would use some HTML tags and
Mm-hmm.
directly play that video.
Okay.
Right? So this is
Oh, I lost you.
the navigation for the resource. Yeah. So this is for consuming the web service, and there is
Mm-hmm.
one more navigation to provide web services, normal web services. So say I'm searching for service name. Let me select this. Click on. Sorry, by mistake I clicked on search again. Let me select this and click on next. Right, you already have this service operation. Click on next and click on view WSDL. Okay, schema. This is not a valid service operation. That's why it is showing this URL. Right, will be published. Click on finish. And there is some issue with the service operation. That's why it did not generate the URL. But at the end, it would generate a URL. Say, let me go with this one. Click on next. Say V3 and for both. Click on next. Click on next. Click on finish. So it has given me this WSDL URL. So this is what I need to give to my third party application. Now it has this local host. We are going to test it using this IP address like this. So this is the WSDL. It has all the metadata for my web service. So when you hit this WSDL, it has all the metadata. And when you load this in your SOAP UI, it will prompt you for all the inputs, right? And you can give those inputs and you can send the request to PeopleSoft.
Okay.
So basically, there are two types of URLs that you can give. One is REST URL, that is pretty straightforward, that we just saw, right? In case of XLAT lookup example,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes. That
Like it has
where you have
different
given
URL.
the run status and 9 and 5.
Next one is WSDL based, which are SOAP based, SOAP templates, right? So the URL for these SOAP based web services is it ends with WSDL. So these kind of services they make use of something called SOAP, like to transfer the information. So when you give this URL to the third party, it can load this WSDL in their application and send you the request parameters, and then you will respond back based on what they have requested. So, for example, uh, yeah. So if you see here, see this XML namespace SOAP equal to this. So this is basically an envelope. It is called SOAP envelope. It encloses your message with it. Like there is SOAP header, there is SOAP. At the end, you will find this your binding, and then you'll have the message in the between. So when you provide this URL to the third party, they very well know where to send this request to. So if you see the last parameter, SOAP address location is this. Correct. So this is what you are like. This is what is configured in PeopleSoft. That's why it is showing localhost, local domain. But ideally, it should be with your IP address or host name. So just remember that there are two types of web services. One is REST based, uh, which like URL for REST based web services is directly available in service operation. You can go and copy and provide the URLs from there. For SOAP based, when you provide a web service, it will generate this URL. It will generate this URL, and you have to provide this URL to the third party so they can invoke your service operation. Got it? So you will be dealing with only two types of service operations: REST and the SOAP
REST
based.
and WS. So based.
Yeah, right. So that's about the service operations or web services. If you have any questions, we'll take them up.
No, I haven't used this. I haven't seen this at all. Like I know that we have multiple integrations at multiple places, but not aware of these technical terms and all. Like whatever is this PIEC. Yeah, I don't have right now anything
Do
regarding
one
this.
thing. Do one thing. You can uh, take reference of. I can provide you a link which
Mm-hmm.
will like you can create your own web service, right? You can
Okay.
create your own app package and then uh, create the service operation, document everything. I'll try to find something and provide it to you. When you do hands-on, you will understand
Mm-hmm.
what's happening.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. And if you face any issue there, let me know. I'll try to answer that.
Okay. Okay.
So that's about the web services. Now we'll go to troubleshooting part. But before that, I'm not feeling very well today, so I wanted to, end this session a bit early. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely fine. Fine. Fine.
Okay. So I'll show you the log files.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I'll cover this, and then we can close it
Okay.
for today.
Okay.
It will take around 30 more minutes. At 7:30, I'll close the session.
Okay.
So let me use putty to
So, Mohan, you
run my
have
tutorial
written
session.
integrations and web services. Integrations log file, maybe.
Integration broker and web services, is it?
No, no. What I'm asking is web services is nothing but integrations. Like, am I right?
Correct, correct. So,
Uh,
okay, let me give you just 2 more minutes of explanation. So, when there is a source, or you can say requester, which wants to invoke the services over HTTP, there should be a service provider at the other end, right? Which is your target, right?
yes.
And the communication between these is called integration.
Hmm.
Okay.
Correct.
Now, for example, the service provider is say PeopleSoft. There is a component called integration broker, which takes care of all these all these integrations. What
Mm-hmm.
integration broker does is it is divided in two parts. One is gateway, which is basically your web server. So all your requests, HTTP requests, they are going to gateway web server, right? And gateway is going to transfer those requests to the server on which you have something called integration engine, which So this is again all your pub sub server processes. So on app server domain, there are some processes, pub sub server processes, which run, which will take care of these messages. So any message that comes from your source is handled by the user engine. Got it?
Yes. Yeah. I'm losing your voice in between.
Yeah.
Let's-
Sorry about that. I mean, I
Okay, okay,
cannot do
fine.
much
Okay, okay.
about it. Like I'm very
Yeah,
close
yeah.
to my router.
Okay.
Okay. So let me restart this session. Root at the rate 123 su is adm2 cd ps underscore cfg underscore home. So I am inside pscfg home,
Mhm.
and in pscfg home, your app server domains are in app server folder. So we have app dom folder here. In that you have logs folder. In the logs folder, you have three main files. Like first of all, to list the files in reverse order, like the latest one should come at the last,
Mhm.
you have to execute ls-ltr. When you do that, the latest file will be displayed at the bottom. The main log file is appsrv underscore date.log. Now what file contains? It contains three things. One is your successful logins. Like if someone logged in successful, if authentication was successful, that would be logged in the logs. Second is unsuccessful logins. So say
Mhm.
I'm currently viewing the logs in real time mode. So tail hyphen f and the file name will show me the real time updates. So let me go ahead and log out from here and put some random ID. Random at the rate this IP address is an invalid user ID or password is incorrect, right? So if someone tries to log in and the authentication fails, it will be logged in the app server logs,
Okay.
right? That's the second thing. If someone is successfully logged in, that is also logged. Third thing is all the errors on your app server are logged here. So if you remember, we tried to provide one web service, and that sorry, we tried to access this lookup rest.get, and we faced some issue, right? This was the error: no URI resource passed in for service operation. Now
Mhm.
this message is also printed in your app server. So if something goes wrong, this is the file to check on the app server.
Okay, so
It has
file was 11, 13. That means every day one file, huh? Generally.
exactly. So at 12 o'clock, this file gets recycled. A new file is created with the new date, new name.
New date. Oh, day wise file. One file, one day, one file. Right?
Exactly. So let me ls all the appsrv files. So if you see, it starts from 22, right? Whenever I started this application, for those days, you'll find the log file.
Okay, okay.
Second file is the tuxedo log, which is tuxlog.date. So this file is going to contain tuxedo related information. If some process was restarted, some process was killed, all that is covered here. It is very rare that you would have errors in this file. I mean, any relevant errors in this file. But if you're not able to get your app server up, at, like you might have to check this file as well. It's very very rare. You will get the errors in appsrv. It will take you to the right direction, towards the actual issue. Right? But
Okay.
tux log, anything related to tuxedo is logged in this file. Then tux access log tells you who is trying to access your tuxedo, right? So this connection is coming from JSH, which is your Jolt handler, right? And who is connecting to the Jolt handler? Total clients, 9 connections are there, right? And this is the IP address for the Jolt. So it is going to list whoever tries to access your tuxedo services, it will log that. It is just for our information. So these are the 3 files that you would refer. This is basically the access log. Nothing much is there. Main file is app_srv_date.log. That will tell you the error for your app server. Similar to this, in PRCS folder, you again have logs folder. Now your app server and PR process scheduler, they both run on Tuxedo. So they have pretty similar kind of log files. You have app_srv_log, but it will have different kinds of errors. So process scheduler is going to have process scheduler related errors in this. So this file is common between process scheduler and this app server. There is nothing much here. We have not used the scheduler much. Second log file is this master scheduler. So if you remember, we had nominated our scheduler as master scheduler, which will distribute the requests among other schedulers.
Yeah,
So
I think this is just like a load balancer. That's what we
correct.
talk about.
So this is going to check for new requests in 15-20 seconds, right? So every 15 seconds, it is going to poll the database to see if there are any new requests.
And I think that is what we configured, na? 15 seconds or something. Then
Right, correct.
that
In
number we
server
configured.
definition. Exactly. Then next is tux log again is common. Next is scheduler log. So scheduler log is going to tell you what is scheduled on this particular scheduler, right? So it says this is looking for work, checking any process is cancelled or not, checking the status. All these messages are here. If some new request is there, it would say, okay, there is one new request. I'm going to process this a particular app engine or SQL report. So those kind of messages you will see here. Next is once the process completes, posting is done. So those logs are in DST agent underscore date.log. So that is basically your distribution agent log. Right?
Oh, posting, posted. Yeah, that is the distribution status.
So it will tell you from where to where it has posted. If there were any issues during posting, this log will contain the errors. Next file is AESRB. So AESRB is going to tell you how many app engines it has processed. So today it has processed 0 app engines. This number is going to tell you how many app engines have been processed by this particular process. So this is the process name, then dot PID, process ID. So if I search for PS-EF, grep PSAESRV, I'll find 2620 in the list, right? So currently there are 3 PSAESRV processes that are running. Out of those, this is one of them. So if this gets some work and if it processes an app engine, let me do that from the scheduler, schedule process requests. I'm going to run an app engine. Right? I'm not going to select the server. It will pick up automatically. And when this process is taken up, it is going to increment that number. So if you let me start this, see, the 0 is incremented to 1. What does it say? It says it has started processing this app engine. with run control ID this, and process instance is this, 88685, right? If I go and look here, it matches with my processing, right? So
So
any
at the
app
max,
engine, tell me.
we will have that PSA ESRB three at the max three, no? Like I mean to say process IDs.
3 process can run at a time
Oh,
because there are only 3 PSAEs are we running on the scheduler. So even if you run say 5 app engines, 2 will be in queue
cute.
till first 3 complete. The last ones will not go to processing.
Hmm.
Yeah. So and you can increase the this number. It's not limited to
The
3. You can make it 5
configuration in
processes.
that.
Yeah. So this is PSAESRB.log. So these are the log files in scheduler. Let's go to the WebServ folder. In WebServ directory, you have PeopleSoft. Inside PeopleSoft, like your domain folder, there is a servers folder. You have to go to servers, ls, go to PIA, ls, you'll find logs folder here. So this is the folder to look for. So inside your domain, you have servers, PIA, logs. So here are the web server logs. So in this folder, the main log files are PIA underscore weblogic.log and these servlets.log and this std out and stdl. These files are the, like if you are facing any issue with your web server, say down or it's not it's not performing good, your transaction is stuck, you can check these log files. Let me show you the content of this. So currently it just tells you some information like how many threads are there, right? There is no error here, but if something goes wrong, these files will have the error messages written. So your heap size is not sufficient, right? And it goes out of memory. That will be logged in these log files. So best way to do search for logs is you cat PIA underscore weblogic.log and then you grep hyphen I is for ignore case error, right? So yeah, this is a common error, you can ignore that, right? But this way you will get all the lines which have error in it. So I am interested only in capital errors, so I'll just remove hyphen I and type error, right? So there is nothing wrong currently with the web server, everything looks fine. Second thing that you can do is you can search for exception. So say servlets.log cat this file grep hyphen I exception. So any Java exception you'll find here, right? So this is also not very critical. It looks like an old message. So during this time, it might the app server was not up or something. So it has printed this message. It cannot connect to any machine name colon 9000. Right. So if you find any exception here in these files, you can like it will tell you the root cause, what the issue is with the web server.
Okay.
So weblogic.log, servlets.log, std out and std error. These files are written. These files are overwritten when you start the web server. So if I display first 5 lines of std out, it is always going to contain this, the command lines. And this was okay, October 28 it is. No, it has some old entry. What was that file then? Let me search for std error. There's nothing. There is no date field right here. Let me check. PA weblogic.log. T. Or just 5. This also has old entries. Okay, there was one file which is overwritten when you start the domain. I guess it is in the app server. The app server std out and std error, they get overwritten. Let me just verify this. So these three as well. But let me go to apps, appdom logs, -ltr, in this std out. This is currently 00. There is nothing in the std out file. So I guess okay, it is retaining some files as well. Std out underscore one. Okay, yeah, there was one file which gets overridden. Maybe in this version it renames the files, right? So it is creating these std many other files. So old files are also there. Right. Okay. Sorry, my bad. I thought that these are recycle. When someone restarts the domain, or is it this? One second. There is some file which gets head -5. Let me check what this is. This is 13th. Yeah, I guess this tux log. When you restart the domain, it will override this. This is only of 13th. Okay, sorry, I'm not able to get that file name. Uh, but there was some log file which gets overridden, so we have to be careful. Like if some issue happens, make sure you download all these files first, and then you restart the domain. Like, if you want to troubleshoot further, you can make a copy of these files, log files, and then start the domain. So this is helpful when you have something bad. So say for example, let's create one issue and let's see if we can see that in our app server log. Let's go to app server, click on configure this domain 0332 cs92 u 034. Now this database does not exist, right? So
Yes.
it's error. It's an issue. Let me try to boot this domain. So the booting has failed, right? It says that some error has occurred and will not open the files here. We'll go to our logs folder and check the files. Let's go to logs, ls-ltr. What all files are updated recently? APPSRV. Let's have a look at last 100 lines. What does it say? Do you see the error?
And root open domain. Server failed to start.
Is it this one?
Can
Yeah.
server
And
failed to start.
yeah, that is okay. It failed to start, but
Uh,
because of what?
okay. Could not sign on database CS920034 with user
User
PS.
PS. That is also fine. And this was because of
Mm-hmm.
what? So you trace back till you see a clean log. This is also an error. This is also an error. But the statement above, this is also an error,
Mm-hmm.
right? This says error, error position this, ORA error. That is Oracle error. TLS
Oracle.
could not resolve the correct identifier specified. So whatever you have specified, that could not be resolved in the
Mm-hmm.
TNS, right? So from here you can know that something is wrong with your TNS, with this name in the TNS.
Mm-hmm.
So what I will do, I'll TNS ping this, and it says fail to resolve it because this is an invalid name.
Mm-hmm.
If I do 33, it resolves fine, right? So I want to make that correction now. So the issue could be with the TNS, issue could be with the passwords. So when you say refresh the environment, your production passwords come. And if you have not changed the passwords here in the domain configuration, or you've not updated the correct passwords in your database, you might face issues while bringing up the app server domain. Right? So it will clearly tell you in the log file that this is the issue. If it is related to Oracle, it would be an ORA error, right? Similarly, if your heap
Mm-hmm.
size, if you go out of heap size, your web server logs will clearly tell you that your heap size is full. There would be an exception there. And as you encounter the errors, like there could be, for example, on the data, if it is not able to write the data on your database due to some issue, it would clear all that out. Say your audit trail is full. Like there could be multiple issues that will be clearly called out in your logs.
Log
If it
files.
is database, you have to contact your DBA. It is if it is something related to server, you have to contact your infra team. If it is related to say storage, sometimes what
Mm-hmm.
happens, your storage is full. Now, when your storage is full, your app server cannot run, right? So it will clearly tell you that okay, your disk is full. So you can verify using df-h. It will tell you how much is available, and if it is really full, you can do the housekeeping, delete some files which are not required, and then try to boot up the domain.
Okay.
So currently, my disk space I'm
Mm-hmm.
using is 46% full. So I still have 93 GB. When I run out of this, I have to make sure
Mm-hmm.
I delete some files to clear up the space. right? Otherwise, your applications will go down, whether it be your web server, app server, scheduler.
Mhm.
Yeah. So depends on the issue, depends on what is logged, you would take some action.
Yes.
That covers the all the log files. Uh, any questions on these?
Yeah, not now, Mohan. Yeah.
Yeah. So say with your application, if you face any issue in future,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your space is full. You might have done some transactions, some processes which have generated log output, like log files,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they will all be generated on this same machine. And as they grow in size, you are definitely going to run out of space, and
Mm-hmm.
one day your server will go down if you don't keep on clearing the space, right? So when that happens, it will clearly tell you. You'll be able to identify that, right? And you can check with this command what the utilization is, and then delete the files, old log files, old log output files, all of that. So all the logs directory that I showed you, the old
Mm-hmm.
files can be deleted without creating an issue. So say you used to keep only November 13 files,
Mm-hmm.
that is more than enough. I can delete this, say 7 November file, right? So say I want to delete anything which has say October 22. Let me.
So I have a question, Mohan. When we see the process monitor, we will have some processes which will go into the no success status. Okay, and we'll just
Uh,
open this STD out and log files and just try to understand from PIA what is that error and all those things, whatever we put.
yeah,
So when we want to rerun the process, it's been told to us that you have to, because you're running the same process on top of no success, so you have to first delete the no success one to rerun the same process. So
that depends on your process type. So, for
okay,
example, in application engines, your application can engine can be restartable or non-restartable, right? So, if it is restartable, it will not ask you to delete the no success instance. It will restart. But if it is
oh,
non-restartable, then you cannot restart the same instance, right? In that case, you need to run. Uh,
delete the no success and then rerun it. Okay, so
when it is, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so my question was here, when we delete the no success and as we see the log files, old log files, so when we delete the no success, so along with that, those log files also will get deleted. How is that?
Yes, correct. That's right. So when you delete the no success instance, it
Mm-hmm.
will delete your log files as well.
As well.
Like
Okay.
that's the way it is. And if you want to delete manually from the server, you can do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there is
That's what. Okay. Mm-hmm.
one purge process. So if I
Okay.
go here, let me go to People Tools Process Scheduler, and there is something called System Settings. Uh, Process Scheduler Settings. Let me go there. Yeah, if you see System Purge options, it says every day 1 a.m. your purge process will run. Okay, and you can
Mm-hmm.
choose how many days you want to retain the instances for. So by default, it is 7 days. Anything older than 7 days will be deleted. The process instance will be deleted, the files will be deleted, everything will be deleted. Right? So this is one way of automating the purge process. Right?
In organizations, you usually have 90 days, right? 60 days or 90 days configured on this page. So anything older than 90 days is automatically deleted by the purge process. And you can see that purge process running every day at 1 a.m.
Mhm.
Our application is not up all the time, but still it is a scheduled process. Whenever you bring up the application, it will trigger that process. Let me remove this, and one day, see this, sys purge directory clean. So directory clean is going to delete the files from your log output and your web server
Mhm.
for anything older than 7 days in this example, right? And syspurge is going to delete all the process instances. If I see the output, there's nothing in this. Yeah, but you got what I mean, right?
Yeah, I got.
Message log. Yeah. So if you see here, okay, there was nothing which was older than 7, so it did not delete anything.
So whatever
But
is
here,
coming in the bracket at 65307 and that's all
that
message
is the
catalog,
message
the
catalog,
message catalog. Okay, that's coming from there.
and this number is the actual count of rows that are deleted. So system purge process is going to take care of that. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you want to delete manually, then you can go to your PS reports folder, basically your report repository on the web server. So I have to find out where that is. Let me go to PSCFG home. Yeah, PS reports is there. Go to PS reports. It is going to
Mhm.
contain your application names folder, and it is going to contain the dates on which these were transferred. And inside these dates, you'll have report IDs. Sorry. Inside this date, you'll have report IDs. So every process has a report ID. If I go here, this is the process instance. But if I go on view log trace, it will tell me the report ID as well for that process. So a folder
Okay.
is created with the report ID, not the process instance. Let me go to the report ID. It will give the actual file name. So the process instance is 88673. The report ID was 12122 for that process. And
Okay.
only one file was generated. And this should be available in the front end as well. Sorry. Let me go and search for this instance. Trace. There is one file. Report ID is 12122. So that's how it is. If you want to delete the files manually, you would go to PS reports and delete the files.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other question?
No, no. Thanks. Thanks.
And as you start working as an admin, you
Mm-hmm.
encounter these kind of scenarios at your work. So, like, you just need to know the location, say where to find these files.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Log files can be found in PS reports. Other log files can be found in logs folder. Log output files can be found in process scheduler slash log output. How to check the space, how to check the issues, how to check the log files, which log file to check. If you're aware of these things, you are certainly going to find the issue. And if you
Mm-hmm.
don't get the resolution upfront, like you don't know the resolution, you can always go and search in Oracle support. Go to Oracle support,
Okay.
search for that same error. Like 90% of the time, you will get some matching article there. It will take you to the right
Oh.
direction, right? So when you start fresh, you always have Oracle support, and your plus your team members, obviously. Like they might have some documentation of repeated issues, or you might take help from someone, understand what it
Hmm.
is, and perform the same step next time when you encounter that, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
troubleshooting basically starts from the log files. So first of all, you should know where the log files are stored and what to check in those log files, right? And one last log file I would like to cover, which is your
Mm-hmm.
integration broker related messages. So let me go to pscfg underscore home. Let me go to WebServe, PeopleSoft. You have to find for a file named errorlog.html. This is the file where all your integration related errors are stored. So if you want to check why the integration failed, you would go and check this log file. Let me vi this file and see the same message. No URI resource passed in for service operation, this, right? So if any service operation request fails for any reason, it will be logged in here, right? So you can scan this file to get the issue. Now this is an HTML file. So if you download it, if you download it, it is an it is a user friendly file. So let me do one thing. I cannot download, but I can definitely copy this, right? Let me save this file. Let me save this file as errorlog.html. Errorlog.html. So if you download this file from your server, it would be available like this. And if you open errorlog.html, see, this is how it looks. So it's a very user-friendly file. It will give you the error level, like standard gateway exception or external connection failed or something like that. And then the description of that error and the response that you got. So on the browser, whatever response you got, that would be attached here. So this is what we got as a response, if you remember, on the screen. No URI resource passed.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. And the request that was sent was this, the content.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, this is part of the response only, right? So this is with all the tags, and this is what you had got on the browser, right? So if your integration fails, errorlog.html is the file to look for. I'm going to tell you the path where it can be found. So it can be found under your domain. Go to applications, PeopleSoft, psigw.war. That's your integration gateway.war file. Inside that, webinf and errorlog.html, right? So these basically covers all the log files where you can search for errors. And depending on where you encountered the error, you would refer to the correct log file. If it is an online transaction which has failed, you would go and look for app server log. If your web server itself is not responding or is down or it's taking a lot of time, you can check
Mm-hmm.
your web server logs. If your integration has failed, you can come here, check error log.html. If your process has failed, your posting is not happening, you can go and check process scheduler logs. So depends on what issue you are facing.
Yes.
Yeah. So, uh, like if you face any issue, let me know. We can troubleshoot that. Like you can carry on your transactions, maybe give some invalid value, or create some error deliberately and check the logs. You'll find some information there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll close for today,
Okay, fine.
right? So we today's session was a bit more theoretical, uh, but I would like you to go through the log files yourself and see what is there, what information is there in those log files. Yeah. So try to filter it by error, see what all messages are there. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the next session.